Welcome to American Survival Guide Television with your host, Amber Hargrove.
Hey guys, what's going on? Amber Hargrove here with American Survival Guide with the one and only Vaughn Neville. What is going on? The man spot. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely appreciate you. We've been following you for a while, and you are blowing up on Instagram, YouTube. You are definitely a daily life of watching your videos. It's so entertaining. You bring so much to the table that we had to reach out to you and say, what is going on? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I appreciate that. Well, I guess first and foremost, I'm a family man and married to the one and only the wife spot. So, so we kind of have it. Yes, she's smoking. So, we have a good, we bounce off of each other and we have a good dynamic that we play on with social media, and we just share our lives to everybody who watches us. And our big thing is we're just real normal people. And we have 3 kids and 2 dogs. So we stay pretty busy with that. And I guess you could say I'm a content creator. So I just stay busy on the daily grind doing that.
Very nice. And definitely, I got a chance to meet you at SHOT Show. I was very impressed with you and your wife and about your gun beliefs as well. Let's talk about that a little bit and why people should have those in their homes as well as protection. Because at American Survival Guide, the biggest thing is always having people prepared for the worst case scenario. And you guys are a typical American family and you want to protect your family. So let's talk about that for a minute. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I've been a huge Second Amendment advocate, I guess, ever since I've owned a gun. So ever since I was in Boy Scouts, I earned my first gun by selling Scout-O-Rama tickets.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was the top prize, was a .22 rifle. And I remember just sitting out in front of a grocery store for weeks and weeks because I wanted to get that .22. And so when I got that, ever since then, I've been a huge advocate of preparedness, hunting, and having the skill set to provide for yourself and your family if it ever came down to it.
I love it. And that was one thing I looked on your website as well. Is it themanspot.com? Is that your website?
Themanspot.usa.com.
That's what it was. And I saw that on there, and just being prepared and talk about you as a family. And, most people out there, they don't actually have guns in their house. They don't think of the safety or worst case scenario. So when I see you and your wife, I mean, you guys are like the perfect yin and yang with each other. And how you guys actually train together. Do you guys ever go outdoors and do that as a family?
Yeah, we do go outdoors. And I wouldn't say, because you know how it goes with a wife and a husband. You tell them something, they just don't want to. Somebody else can tell them that and they'll listen. So she goes to Johnny Primo, who is really, really good with his trainings. And ever since then, she's been getting really, really into it, and also advocating other women to also take training as well to defend themselves.
I love it. And you mentioned you're a big hunter. What type of hunting do you do?
So I wouldn't say big hunter, but I do hunt every single year. So mule deer, that's kind of my go-to. Every single year I'll go on a mule deer hunt. And then of course coyotes, but a lot of people say that's not hunting, that's pest control.
I definitely agree with that. I'm in Colorado and also Montana, back and forth. So I see a lot of those and I understand it completely. Where are you based out of?
So I'm in Utah.
You're in Utah?
Salt Lake City.
Oh my gosh. Very nice. Very nice. And when I actually went on your website as well, I know a lot of products. So you're developing all these different types of t-shirts and other materials out there. What is your number one favorite go-to item that you have developed?
Oh boy. So my shirts are kind of an American history theme. So when you buy one of my shirts, it has something on it. And such, for example, there's one that says Pirate Patriot 1812. And people, when they see that, they're like, what's a pirate patriot? And then it goes into tell people, well, Jean Le Chiffre was a pirate. And at the time he was wanted by the Jackson and also the English. They both wanted Jean Le Chiffre, and they said, hey, if you fight with us, we'll pardon you. And the same thing with the Americans. They said, hey, if you side with us, we'll pardon you. So he chose the American side because he was a patriot to America, and he actually fought the English. And they say without Jean Le Chiffre, the Battle of 1812 would have been very, very different, and we possibly could have been an English colony again.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so it kind of goes like that with all my shirts, American history themed, because I want people to start teaching each other about American history through the apparel we wear.
That's right. And also they always say history repeats itself too. So how do you feel about that? Honestly, I had no idea about your gear and the behind the scenes. I look at your t-shirts and I'm like, wow, these look hardcore. They're great. I would definitely buy them. And I'm actually going to be one of your customers, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I am. And I can say right now that I had no idea about this. So it's really intriguing to get to know people out there. And one of the hardest things we deal with is some people as Americans don't really understand the philosophy of just, taking the extra time to learn about somebody themselves, like you as an individual. There's so much about you. Like, what got you started into becoming the man spot?
It's kind of a funny story. So I was a door-to-door salesman for 11 years. And so I would travel a lot. So I've lived all in the South, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Virginia. So I've lived all there just selling alarm systems. So that's kind of what got me into carrying a gun for self-defense, because I've actually had to use a gun on 3 separate occasions to defend myself and, from certainty of theft or, death. But what got me doing, I guess, the man spot was I was ready to delete social media at the time because I was just sick of Facebook and hearing if people had a good day or a bad day. And I didn't want to read that. And my wife was like, well, you should start an Instagram. And I was like, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's just a social media platform where you look at pictures of your interests. So I started an Instagram and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'll put my interests on here, which was guns, outdoors, off-roading, my family, the expression of patriotism. And I literally wanted this to be a spot kind of like Target, a place where women go to Target. I was like, oh, I'll make it the man corner, the man place. And I was like, oh, the man spot. I had no idea I would be called the man spot, but I was literally making a page about my interests and hobbies, similar to where men could go and be like, oh yeah, this is kind of my man spot. So now I am the man spot.
No, I think it's perfect. And then your wife turned her Instagram to the wife spot. And I'm like, yep. Oh my gosh, I think it's perfect. And with you, I had no idea about you being an outdoor salesman. What did you sell door to door?
So depending on who I'm talking to and if I'm trying to impress them, I tell them defense contracts. Oh. Because it's an alarm, because alarms protect your home. They defend your home, and you sell people a contract. So you're defending your home with a contract of an alarm system. So
that's right.
I
like it a lot. System. I think it's perfect, actually. And another thing about you and your family is people watch you guys just on a day-to-day basis on just your personality, on who you guys really are, and genuine people, and quite entertaining. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you guys crack me up.
We try, she loves makeup and beauty blogs and that stuff. And I'm literally just the most redneck guy in my neighborhood.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Being outdoors hunting, have you ever had a situation where you were in survival mode and you had to figure it out anytime?
Yes, we were snowmobiling, actually, not hunting, but we were snowmobiling just out in the middle of nowhere. And, one of the skis broke on the snowmobile, so we couldn't turn at all. So literally we went and cut a limb down, and we kind of makeshifted our own ski for the snowmobile, and we were able to then steer and make it out. But I mean, this took hours of us, because first we looked for the old ski, couldn't find it, and then we had to cut a limb down with just a little pocket knife. So we weren't very prepared at this time. And then we used shoelaces from our snow boots to actually makeshift the ski for the snowmobile. So, otherwise, it could have gotten really bad being, stranded out there with just the snowmobile.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. And one thing is, I always say this, I hate being cold. That's like my one thing. And I'm like, you're in Utah, so it's not as bad, but I would be seriously stressing out on that situation, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I'm isolated from an environment in the snow, being cold, the first thing I think of was, can I start a fire? Are we going to make this? Do we have enough resources? Is the person I'm with going to make it? That's the real truth.
Yeah.
It's about the people you're around. So And also, let's talk about your YouTube channel for a second. So I know you do a little bit of everything. You do off-roading as well. Talk to me about that. What do you drive?
Yeah. So I just the 4500 class in King of the Hammers is what we were in. So I was just in a Jeep JK. So nothing too, I guess. A lot of people would think it's crazy, but to me, when I think of crazy, I think of the trophy trucks, because those are, $1 million rigs that are, going 200 miles an hour, through the desert. But I'm kind of working my way up to that. So hopefully within the next, 4 years, I hope to have a trophy truck and being in that class. But right now I'm just kind of working my way up. And this is something I'm not doing for my job. It's just more of a hobby and being able to raise my kids in the car and racing environment, because I think it's just all about community and helping them develop skills they may not realize if they didn't have the opportunity or were exposed to the racing community. So that's mainly the reason I'm doing that, is to help them maybe realize a skill or a trait that they may not have in any other circumstance. So
that's just really cool.
Bringing more of the family together with it. And I do love, the off-roading as well. I've always kind of done that.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, usually when I say off-roading, I grew up really poor, so I'm talking about like a mini Toyota, I think maybe a 1974 Toyota that's like this big,
Oh, yeah.
Who even knows? That's how my life was. But I can tell you right now that American Survival Guide is going to put you on our Instagram and our website, and we'd love to talk more to you and make sure we keep in touch. So what is going to be happening in the next couple months with you? Do you have any upcoming project?
So I've got the Mid 400 is actually in 10 days in Vegas. Or I guess Primm is where the race takes place, but they have a big thing in Old Las Vegas where the parade and everything. So that's my immediate, I guess, go-to. And then this weekend, I'm actually going to a Second Amendment rally out in Virginia. So I'll be one of the keynote speakers out there. Wow. So I've been doing a lot of traveling and just getting more involved in speaking, because I've spoken at about half a dozen Second Amendment rallies and just getting people more aware of standing up for our Second Amendment rights. So that's going to be a thing that I'm continually getting more involved with in the future. So that's happening actually, next week. So if you're in Virginia, come on to the rally.
That would be awesome. Definitely. I look forward to even hearing it, and I will definitely promote you on my Instagram as well, brother. And we are so grateful to have you here with American Survival Guide, and we're going to keep in touch and make sure we follow you. And we look forward to eventually get you in that magazine, whether it's me taking you out in the woods and going surviving with your hot wife, by the way. I mean, beautiful lady, might I add. Yes. And definitely, we look forward to. Thank you so much. Anything you want to say to fans out there?
No, just thank you for your continuous support, and just being open-minded, and just remembering that we always have to be prepared and we have to fight for our rights, because if we don't do that, we're going to lose them. And as well as fighting for our rights to go and adventure and outdoor and go outdoorsing. And because that's what it's about. So I appreciate everybody and your continuous support and fighting for our American way of life.
Oh, I love it. And I can't wait to see you speaking there. That's going to be wonderful. So I'll definitely stay tuned for that. So, all right, guys, Amber Hargrove here with American Survival Guide with Vaughn Neville as well, the man spot. Thank you so much, brother. And you guys stay tuned. We'll have more behind the scenes.
All right. See you next time.